Welcome to the No Views News. This program was created on Sunday, April 18th, at 3:26 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, by Zeno Reader. There are 597 headlines from 108 feeds we check to build this automated report. Welcome to No Views, daily automated podcast news. The headlines in this super unknown daily news summary do not imply fact-checking or endorsement of ideas. The first headlines are from the current most popular news site, Yahoo News, with 175 million estimated monthly unique visitors. Person of interest arrested after 3 killed in shooting at Kenosha, Wisconsin, bar. Trump calls Biden's Afghanistan withdrawal wonderful and positive. Chris Cuomo said police reform won't happen until white people's kids start getting killed. One American News Network producer says majority of employees didn't believe reports on voter fraud claims. High-ranking Iranian general dies of heart disease at 65. Massive gasoline spill near Huntersville, even worse than company thought, state says. Ree Drummond's nephew Caleb arrested for DUI 1 month after crash on her ranch. Highly unlikely Chauvin trial and an all-out acquittal, legal analyst predicts. Police, suspect on the run in fatal shooting at 3 in Texas. No one was driving Tesla before fatal fiery crash that kept reigniting, Texas cops say. The next headlines are from the second most popular news website at this time, with 150 million unique monthly visitors, Google News. North Carolina Walgreens store accidentally mixes up COVID-19 vaccine with saline, WXII-12 Winston-Salem. 1,265 new COVID-19 cases, 7 additional deaths reported in Mass, WCVB Boston. Course record still intact, Biden on first underwhelming golf outing as president, The Guardian. Lizzo drunkenly slid into Chris Evans' DMs like a real superhero, HuffPost. Jake Paul targeted by several MMA fighters after Ben Askren knockout, including Tyron Woodley, BJ Penn, Dillo, MMA fighting. Survivor, Millennials vs. Gen X star Sunday Burquest dies of cancer. EW.com, Entertainment Weekly News. Watch NASA's Mission Control track the first flight on Mars, The Verge. Half of U.S. adults have received at least 1 COVID shot in milestone for vaccination campaign, CNBC. Alma Wahlberg, mother of actors Donnie and Mark Wahlberg, dies at age 78, CNN. Maxine Waters, Jim Jordan was mistreating Dr. Fauci, panel, Politico. The following headlines are from the third most popular news website, with 110 million unique monthly visitors, The Huffington Post. Lizzo drunkenly slid into Chris Evans' DMs like a real superhero. 6 shot at child's birthday party as nation faces onslaught of gun violence. Half of U.S. adults have now received at least 1 COVID-19 shot. Police, Austin shooting leaves 3 dead, suspect identified as former detective. Travis Barker passed the boyfriend test for Kourtney Kardashian's birthday. Fauci on viral exchange with Jim Jordan, this has nothing to do with liberties. Alfred Molina is probably in Marvel jail after spoiling Spider-Man sequel. Fauci predicts Johnson & Johnson vaccine will be reapproved this week. Russian dissident Alexei Navalny could be days from death in prison. DeSantis' vaccine slogan is seniors first, but rich, white seniors first is what happened. The next headlines are from the fourth most popular news website, with 95 million estimated unique monthly visitors, CNN. High school rallies for senior with brain cancer. Women shot in leg after rejecting man's advances. Dog honored for saving man from health emergency. Citywide cleanup event targets 35 parks. Teen struck by car during roller skating stunt. Fiery Tesla crash took 4 hours to extinguish. Animal shelter mix-up leaves cat with half an ear. Unlikely friendship, 5-year-old girl, UPS driver share special bond. Event raises awareness for prescription pill abuse. Deputy fired after drinking, crashing patrol car. The next headlines are from the fifth most popular news website at this time, with 70 million estimated unique monthly visitors, the New York Times. What Joe Biden and I saw after the U.S. invaded Afghanistan. Experts warn of a new surge in Colorado tied to variants. What will happen when Americans start having sex again? Train crash in Egypt kills at least 11. European Super League to include 6 Premier League teams. I have read thousands of sums, and I have some advice. Make tax-dodging companies pay for Biden's infrastructure plan. Afghan women fear the worst after U.S. withdrawal. Alexei Navalny's health in prison is dire, his doctors say. Activists question whether police reform bills are enough. The following headlines are from the sixth most popular news website, with an estimated 65 million monthly unique visitors, Fox News. More in hours, RBI double intent leads Pirates over Brewers 6-5. Bam, Adebayo's jumper lifts Heat past Nets, 109-107. Rangers beat those 1-0 in 10 in duel of opening day starters. LeBron James, Lakers won't visit President Biden at White House during trip to Washington, D.C. Houston police say crystal meth found in breakfast burrito. Half of U.S. adults have received at least one COVID-19 shot. Babylon Bee editor-in-chief scolds Samantha Bee for pulling punches on Biden, blinded by your own worldview. Perez's 2-run shot gives Royals 2-0 win over Blue Jays. Bumgarner back on track as Arizona beats Washington 5-2. Knicks rally late, top Pelicans in OT for 6th win in row. You are hearing today's top news headlines and more. Today is Sunday, April 18th. The next headlines are from the 7th most popular news website, with 63 million estimated monthly unique visitors, CBS News. Therapist Dr. Orna Guralnik on COVID-19 pandemic, people are capable of a lot more than they knew. NFL reporter Peter King calls out Carson Wentz, saying he was mind-boggled by QB's behavior in Eagles' exit. Minneapolis Public Schools to go to distance learning for Derek Chauvin verdict. Stimulus check latest, is a 4th relief payment coming? Tom Brady jokes that his NFL career can now legally drink alcohol. Colorado paid $19 million in fraudulent unemployment claims during COVID-19 pandemic. Prince Philip funeral, how to watch, stream CBS coverage. Peaky Blinders star Helen McCrory dies at 52. Got coke, Jose Espinosa called Long Island medical facility looking for lost drugs, police say. The next headlines are from the 8th most popular news website, with an estimated 53 million monthly unique visitors, Mail Online, the Daily Mail. English football's Big Six to declare plan to join European Super League tonight. Hundreds flock to first car boot sale after lockdown easing. Richard K., a funeral masterstroke by Charles that may just reunite his warring sons. Macron is discussing opening France to vaccinated American and European travelers this summer. Line of Duty fans go wild as definitely reappears tipping Ted Hastings as HB for cliffhanger. Deduct points, deduct money and punish them, Gary Neville launches impassioned attack on Big Six. Meet the Delias of the digital age, whose recipe videos have been seen a staggering 30 billion times. My conman Fiank left me suicidal, but without him I wouldn't have found love again. Designer says DIY facial massage and night cream keep her youthful. The new plague of plastic rain, how microplastics are literally pouring from the sky. The next headlines are from the 10th most popular news website, which has an estimated 42 million monthly unique visitors, The Guardian. This is The Guardian's U.S. news feed. Coronavirus Live News, half of U.S. adults receive one vaccination, Turkey sees record deaths. 3 people dead in active shooting incident in Austin, Texas. Course record still intact, Biden on first underwhelming golf outing as president. Train accident north of Cairo has killed at least 11 people, say authorities. Iheanacho fires Leicester into FA Cup final with win over Southampton. George Floyd killing, protests flare as Americans await verdict in Chauvin trial. Only someone who truly hates football can be behind a European Super League. Jonathan Liu. Sinn Féin president apologizes for murder of Lord Mountbatten. The Guardian view on the need for news, local facts are sacred to editorial. Mason Greenwood double and Cavani take Manchester United past Burnley. The following headlines are from the 12th most popular news website, with an estimated 36 million monthly unique visitors, ABC News. 3 dead in Texas shooting, suspect at large, considered armed and dangerous, police. Half of Americans over 18 have received at least one vaccine shot, CDC. Russia's Alexei Navalny is dying in prison, allies call for nationwide protests. 1 dead, 2 missing after barge crashes into boat. Faith leaders across U.S. join in decrying voting restrictions. Police, FedEx shooter legally bought guns used in shooting. The next headlines are from the 13th most popular news website, with an estimated 35 million monthly unique visitors, the BBC News. Russia expels Czech diplomats over explosion row. Condemnation over European Super League plan. Table Mountain fire, historic buildings destroyed in Cape Town. Russia will face consequences if Navalny dies, U.S. France kidnapping, girl found with mother accused of ordering abduction. Isami, underwater tango and happy penguins. Plane ditches in ocean during Florida air show. Syria to hold election in May after years of war. Indianapolis FedEx shooting, who were the 8 victims? Mars helicopter first flight, NASA to test ingenuity. The following headlines are from the 14th most popular news website, with an estimated 34 million monthly unique visitors, USA Today. Multiple people dead in Austin shooting. Danger remains high, 3 dead in Austin shooting spree near the Arboretum Shopping Center, manhunt for suspect underway. Suspect on the run in fatal shooting of 3 in Texas. FedEx shooting suspect legally purchased rifles months after shotgun was seized from his home. Gunman kills 3 in Kenosha County, Wisconsin tavern shooting. The day in pictures. In this city plagued by poverty and addiction, the pandemic isn't going anywhere. Closing arguments set for Monday in Derek Chauvin's trial in the killing of George Floyd. Here's what you need to know. Police in Minnesota round up journalists covering protest, force them on the ground and take pictures of their faces. The next headlines are from the 15th most popular news website, with an estimated 35.5 million monthly unique visitors, the LA Times. LA County Sheriff's detectives investigating 3 separate homicides. Is California suffering a decades-long mega drought? Column, no matter the verdict in the Chauvin trial, reforming policing won't be enough. LAUSD unequal reopening, nearly full classrooms on West Side, empty elsewhere. Hundreds gather in Hollywood for march and candlelight vigil against police brutality. Los Angeles County sees lowest COVID-19 daily test positivity rate since pandemic began. Mother unraveled in depression, QAnon-style conspiracies in months before she killed 3 kids. West Hollywood debuts pedestrian zone along Robertson Boulevard. Hate crimes against Asian Americans in LA more than doubled last year, Los Angeles Police Department reports. Dr. Drew-eyed for Homeless Commission, angering advocates who wonder, is this a joke? We hope you are enjoying this news podcast. Today is Sunday, April 18, 2021. You just heard from the top 15 most popular news websites in the world. More, from other news sources, is up next. Next, Reddit World News. Reddit is a user collective which claims over 430 million active users per month, and these are the top voted stories today. Prominent COVID conspiracy theorist dies of virus. Just freeze your visas. Ex-president of Estonia proposed to ban all Russians from entering the European Union. World Today News. White House warns Russia will face consequences if Putin critic Alexei Navalny dies in prison. Germany to offer refuge to Afghans who helped military. 11 Russian politicians signed an open letter demanding an independent doctor be immediately allowed to see Navalny. You, the President of the Russian Federation, personally bear responsibility for the life of Navalny on the territory of the Russian Federation, including in prison facilities. Devastating fire in Cape Town, South Africa has destroyed library at top university in Africa, UT. Biden advisor warns there will be consequences for Russia if Navalny dies. 65% drop in severe asthma. Israeli hospital says it's the masks. World's largest iceberg A68 melts away after 3 years, satellite data shows. Afghan war has claimed 241,000 lives, report finds. Over 70 airstrikes hit ISIS caves and bunkers in 24 hours carried out by Russian jets. Adopt a gargoyle. Notre Dame restoration gets crowdfunding boost. Spanish police have uncovered and busted the first workshop using a 3D printer to make illegal firearms in the country. Navalny's team calls protests amid reports of failing health. Ukrainian soldiers skeptical that Western sanctions will deter Russian troops. The next headlines are from Forbes. DMX posthumously earns a new top 10 album as Taylor Swift debuts at number 1. 5 customer service strategies for car dealerships and dealers. The best new movies to stream on Netflix, Amazon, Hulu, HBO and Disney Plus this week. Happiness is good for business. 6 ways to create it for employees. Women and the pandemic, serious damage to work, health and home demands response. Austin, Omaha, and Kenosha, mass shootings plague U.S. over the weekend. Fat Tire releases beer made from ingredients available in the future. It's awful and they know it. Taylor Swift beats Morgan Wallen for the largest debut of 2021 with Fearless, Taylor's version. Taylor Swift charts her 9th number 1 album in the U.S. with Fearless, Taylor's version. 50% of U.S. adults now vaccinated, but here are the countries doing even better. The next headlines are from Nature.com. Author correction, synthesis and breakdown of universal metabolic precursors promoted by iron. The World Population Update. Currently, we are increasing by over 220,000 people a day, expecting to reach 8 billion in 2023. At the time this report was generated, the population was estimated to be 7,699,525,271 humans. Worldometers.info says there are 195 countries at this time and, of those, the top 10 with the largest populations are, in order, China, India, the United States, Indonesia, Pakistan, Brazil, Nigeria, Bangladesh, Russia, and then Mexico. The next headlines are from Variety. How Disney will use American Idol, The Simpsons and more to promote this year's Oscars exclusive. Mickey Guyton on co-hosting the ACMs. The country music community is inclusive, and its Time Awards shows show that. Mank wins top honor at ASC Awards. Visions Do Well 2021, profiles of 9 works in progress. Lord of the Rings dominated by Detective Conan in China opening weekend. Elma Wahlberg, matriarch of the Wahlberg family and Wahlburger star, dies at 78. Godzilla vs. Kong tops box office again, crosses $80 million in the U.S. How David Attenborough became nature's voice of reason, column. Demon Slayer the movie, Mugen Train review, anime record setter serves up toon action for cult audiences. Amazon cancels plans for Lord of the Rings massively multiplayer game. The following headlines are from NPR, National Public Radio. Weekend shootings in Texas and Wisconsin add to tally of U.S. gun deaths. Indianapolis shooting suspects obtained guns legally, police say. U.S., China agreed to cooperate on climate crisis with urgency. The incredible shrinking and growing brains of Indian jumping ants. Brooklyn Center, Minnesota's most diverse city, is in the spotlight after shooting. Opinion: how COVID reveals the hypocrisy of the global health experience. Opinion: doctors should be more candid with their patients. For some Americans, getting a vaccine is as easy as showing up to work. Quiet no more, Senator Hirono's immigrant journey fuels her fire in Congress. Putin critic Alexei Navalny could die at any moment, doctor says. The following headlines are from the week. Poll: Matthew McConaughey would have a shot against Texas Governor Greg Abbott, but primaries would be trickier. It may not be too long before vaccinated Americans can travel to France, Macron says. Fauci believes Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccine will soon be back in action. John Kerry optimistic about China's strong language on climate crisis following talks. 10 things you need to know today, April 18, 2021. Allies urgently call for protests next week amid reports of imprisoned Navalny's deteriorating health. Changing election laws. The new HBO show you won't be able to stop watching. The next headlines are from Universe Today. Fermilab's Muon G2 experiment finally gives particle physicists a hint of what lies beyond the Standard Model. SpaceX has given up trying to catch rocket fairings, fishing them out of the ocean is fine. When stars get too close to each other, they cast out interstellar comets and asteroids. You thought black hole event horizons looked strange? Check out binary black hole event horizons. Astronauts will soon be getting a space fridge, keeping everything cold in 0G. These are the news headlines for today, Sunday, April 18th. This podcast is produced only in English at this time. As of 2020, the Ethnologue reference lists 7,117 different human languages, with English being the third most common, after Mandarin Chinese and Spanish. The following headlines are from earthsky.org. For the second time, Northrop Grumman catches a satellite in Earth orbit. Listen to a spider web. A case against killing spiders. Moon and Gemini stars on April 18th and 19th. Before and after of asteroid Bennu sample site. The next news is from Politico. Biden's first 100 days. Russia and Britain bolster Black Sea presence. Czechs expel Russian envoys, alleging Kremlin role in deadly 2014 blast. European Commission President demands treatment for Navalny. Cuomo accuser criticizes Yang's reaction to misogynistic question. Maxine Waters, Jim Jordan was mistreating Dr. Fauci, panel. Half of U.S. adults now have received at least one COVID shot. Rep base hopeful on passing police reform legislation. There will be consequences for Russia if Navalny dies, Biden official warns. U.S., China pledge to tackle climate change with urgency. The next headlines are from the Sydney Morning Herald in Australia. As home approvals triple in WA, the hidden cost of the COVID building boom is revealed. Liberals call for second year of council rates freezes across WA. Sinn Féin leader makes landmark apology for murder of Prince Philip's uncle. Chinese officials identified Hunan market as a pandemic risk years before COVID emerged. Russia expels 20 Czechs after deadly blast blamed on Skripal suspects. It was inevitable, Bitcoin tumbles as Coinbase hangover rattles crypto assets. Brothers charged after rideshare driver knocked unconscious. Tesla with no one driving crashes, killing 2. Time for the coalition to put a gender lens back on the budget. Raiders are no angels, moments that show attack on arrogant Panthers is off the mark. The next headlines are from MarketWatch. Clubhouse closes new funding round, with valuation reportedly near $4 billion. The Wall Street Journal, no one may have been in driver's seat in Tesla crash that killed 2 near Houston. Newswatch, Coinbase hangover, here's why Bitcoin may be suffering its steepest slide since February. Cryptus, Coinbase hangover, here's why Bitcoin may be suffering its steepest slide since February. Earnings outlook, here's how the pause on J&J's COVID-19 shot may or may not affect the company's earnings. Newswatch, stocks are at all-time highs and the U.S. economy is booming, so why is everyone so freaked out? Earnings Watch, the pandemic's differing earnings effects will be on display with tech, airline reports. Market Extra, this new ETF gets you access to the backbone of the crypto world. Market Snapshot, stocks are at all-time highs and the U.S. economy is booming, so why is everyone so freaked out? Next, the top stories about patents and inventions. ITC ban sparks $1.8 billion trade secret deal, Department of Justice IEEE policy moves spooks SEP owners, Brazil IP law suspension, F patent analysis, China crypto IP battle, and much more. I am Constable, from atomic bomb to solar power, Downers Grove scientist always innovates, Daily Herald. Cardiff School District students advance to 2021 Virtual California Invention Convention, Encinitas advocate. Why the patent classification system needs an update, IPWatchdog.com. Effective intellectual property and patent system attracts investment. Times of Oman. Do you actually own the IP generated by your Canadian employees, JD Supra? The next headlines are from Quartz. Lifting a cap on refugees would give the U.S. economy a much-needed boost. Is the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame ready for Fela Kuti? How to support local small businesses during pandemic reopening. Do tech companies give back to small business as much as they take? Why small businesses really matter. The pandemic exposed small businesses' vulnerabilities, and how to fix them. Uber drivers in Africa are taking notes from their triumphant British peers. Why investors cannot get enough of Africa's debt. Africa debt appetites, Maggot Hub, startup expansion. The era of subsidies for wind and solar may be ending far too soon. The following headlines are from Tech Dirt. Funniest most insightful comments of the week at Tech Dirt. This week in Tech Dirt history, April 11th 17th. PlayStation Y2K-like battery bug about to become a problem as Sony shuts down check-in servers. We are now about 1/3 of the way through this daily news headlines podcast, a free service. Here, next, are the top trending keywords in Google web searches for today, a different window on world events. Austin shooting. Floyd Mayweather. European Super League. Jay Bruce. Kenosha shooting. Bitcoin. BTC price. F1. Elmo Wahlberg. Formula 1. The next headlines are from RT, the first Russian news station in English. Armed carjacking suspect shot dead in Minnesota, almost triggering another BLM march for victim of police brutality. Weekend should get out earlier, Trump slams Biden for using September 11th as Afghanistan withdrawal date. Spanish police raid illegal 3D printed weapons workshop capable of producing a gun barrel in minutes. More than half of all Americans now partially vaccinated, 1/3 fully jabbed up, CDC data shows. Jesus joins QAnon, Passion of the Christ star stirs controversy as he critically dives into adrenochroming of children. Hideous, Gary Neville hammers Chelsea's Roman Abramovich and fellow imposter club owners as he rages over plot during pandemic. NBA warns teams to be prepared to postpone games amid fears of civil unrest from verdict of Derek Chauvin case, reports. Russia tells 20 Czech diplomats to leave by Monday night in response to Prague's expulsions. Brian Stelter says there was no cover-up after CNN sat for 4 days on news of crew assaulted by protesters. I asked him if he was trying to kill us. F1's Russell details fiery exchange with rival Bottas after Imola horror smash video. The next headlines are from Zero Hedge. Another explosive eruption detected at St. Vincent volcano in Eastern Caribbean. It's totally insane. Someone made $1 million on Dogecoin with his stimulus check. Hedge funds are getting the hell out of New York in favor of Florida. Obama's chief energy scientist disputes the climate change propaganda peddlers. Navalny's team claims he could die at any moment as U.S. warns Russia of consequences. Morgan Stanley, if ACBDC gains acceptance for international transactions, it could become the new reserve currency. Greenwich single-family listings fall most on record as buying frenzy continues. At least 3 dead in Austin, Texas, shooter on the loose. What is the difference between the Wright and Babbitt shootings? Biden finally admits there's a crisis at the border. The following headlines are from Al Jazeera, Middle East News. AMLO to propose extending social program to Central America. Israel and Greece sign record defense deal. UEFA threatens to ban clubs that join breakaway Super League. Ontario's COVID crisis, this scenario was entirely preventable. Multiple rockets hit Iraqi airbase, wounding 2 soldiers. Argentina receives AstraZeneca jabs amid anti-lockdown protests. Russia expels 20 Czech diplomats in retaliatory move. At least 19 people killed in West Niger attack. Myanmar shadow government demands invite for ASEAN summit talks. U.S. warns of consequences if jailed Kremlin critic Navalny dies. The next headlines are from Breitbart. Florida beachgoers form human chain to save struggling swimmer. Newness, Biden approach to foreign policy is speak loudly and carry a twig. Federal judge orders Minnesota law enforcement to stop assaulting, harassing journalists at protests. Joaquin Castro begs Joe Biden to expand catch and release of border crossers. Panic time, NBA fast approaching historic ratings lows. Report, Texas facility for migrant girls closed amid crowding concerns, workers' death. Inmates use cats to smuggle drugs into prisons in Panama. Photos, vandals smear pig blood on home once occupied by Derek Chauvin defense witness. Hester Ford, oldest living American, passes away at 116. Report, Biden admin demands Israel stop bragging about disabling Iran's nuclear facility. The next headlines are from UPI News. Philippine Coast Guard seizes 200 tons of giant fossilized clamshells. Family's scenic route home from vacation leads to $777,777 lottery prize. The next headlines are from Odd, Strange and Bizarre Things. The smallest airports from around the world. The following headlines are from Earth Files, updates on Earth and astronomical mysteries. Bizarre beheadings, 21 seals found bloodlessly decapitated along Nova Scotia beaches. The following headlines are from goodnewsnetwork.org. Doctors thought he would never walk or talk. Watch his reaction to getting accepted to college. The Year Earth Changed, uplifting wildlife documentary with David Attenborough. Hair American League Division Series Earth Day Watch. Daimler Trucks is now accepting orders for all-electric freight trucks, having tested them on America's highways. Edible food wrap developed from algae and cinnamon compound may be the food packaging solution we need. First human trial of HIV vaccine produced immune response in 97% of volunteers. This week's inspiring horoscopes from Rob Bresney's Free Will Astrology. Walmart commits to helping save pollinators by mandating change for supply chains. You're tuned to No Views, daily automated podcast news. This is a report for Sunday, April 18th. Thank you for listening. The next headlines are from Reddit Offbeat News. What is it about ripped jeans that divides fashionistas and politicians alike? After buying an entire abandoned ghost town in California, a man is stuck out there due to a snowstorm and the coronavirus. See how much Jeff Bezos made since you loaded the page. College Station man's kidnapping prank ends in his arrest. The man allegedly wrote, "I need help. I got kidnapped" on a receipt at a local restaurant. The restaurant staff called police. A bobcat attacked my wife. Security camera captures wild encounter in North Carolina. M&S faces backlash over plan to release 13 honeybees. How a common air freshener can result in a high-stakes traffic stop. Man who tried to fight grizzly bear in Banff National Park fined $4,000. A ship got stuck, so he built a website. What happens when 70 million people visit your joke site? Mississippi law will ban shackling inmates during childbirth. The next headlines are from a site called The Next Web. What we can learn from sequencing 1 million human genomes with big data. Boston Dynamics' latest robot doesn't do backflips, and that's a smart move. Stream spin classes, Hittite training, and more with this fitness service on sale today. Here's why we should never trust AI to identify our emotions. New to computer vision and medical imaging? Start with these 10 projects. Big Tech is pushing states to pass privacy laws, and yes, you should be suspicious. The Mauro is the electric lawn mowing robot that liberates you from home landscaping duties. This is a reading of news headlines. This broadcast was created on Sunday, April 18th from over 100 sources, to give you a bigger picture of the news. The next headlines are from NASA News. NASA to attempt first controlled flight on Mars as soon as Monday. NASA astronaut Kate Rubins, crewmates return safely to Earth. The next headlines are from the Salt Lake Tribune. Maureen Dowd, Biden ditches the Generals, finally. The Bayou men's volleyball team was riding a high when the season got cancelled last year. Now, the Cougars are happy to be hosting the MPSF tournament. Navajo Nation has no COVID-related deaths for 7th day in a row. Hospitalizations down again, and no new COVID-19 deaths reported in Utah. Ezra Klein, another way of thinking about cancel culture. Police say man who fired shots at SWAT team also wound up hitting neighboring houses. The Salt Lake Bees open the season next month. Here's what's new, and what hasn't changed. Suspects arrested in shooting of 2 teens in Sandy. Ogden Raptors enter new partner league era, but expect better level of play. Extremely short-handed Utah Jazz throw the kitchen sink out there in overtime loss to Lakers. The next headlines are from Slashdot, Tech News for Nerds. How a true crime podcast led to an arrest in a 25-year-old cold case. Founder of Adobe dies at age 81. No one was driving the car, 2 dead after fiery Tesla crash. Debian votes to issue no statement on Stallman's return to the FSF board. Blistering note reveals secret travails of Facebook's content moderators. Microsoft Edge adds a kids mode limiting browsing to 70 websites. OpenWall releases Linux kernel runtime guard 0.9.0. Power plants become Bitcoin mining operations. Are there alternatives? China and Huawei ease dystopian new IP plan for 6G. Facebook urged to reconsider its plans for an Instagram for children. The next headlines are from Fox St. Louis. Nola pitches first 9-inning shutout as Phillies beat Cards 2-0. Mizzou soccer coach blitzed to retire after 25 years in charge. Second person charged in case of body found in duffel bag in rural Missouri. Missouri record 254 new COVID cases, no additional virus deaths. Watch, Blues hold celebration of life service for Bobby Plitcher. police still searching for fugitive in deadly shooting, shelter-in-place lifted for Northwest Austin neighborhood. More than 8 million COVID-19 vaccines administered in Illinois. Fauci says he expects Johnson & Johnson vaccinations to resume later this week. Power and traffic disrupted after utility pole breaks at I-44 in Grand. These are the current headlines from the world's most interesting news websites. Thank you for listening. The next headlines are from Fox San Diego. Police searching for gunman in South San Diego. Woman accused of setting her apartment building on fire after argument. Officials would receive names of their recall petition signees under new bill. Report, Caitlyn Jenner considers entering Newsom recall election. California lawmaker proposes decriminalizing psychedelic drugs. Santa Ana winds raise fire danger around SoCal. Man gunned down on Chula Vista Street. News now, police search for gunman who killed man in South Bay. Woman killed, wounded husband arrested in Lemon Grove stabbings. The next headlines are from SpookNews.com. Factbox: who are the Skripal poisoning suspects allegedly behind deadly check blast? If you invested $1,000 in Sundial Grower stock 1 year ago, here's how much you'd have now. Benzinga. Nat Strasberg to IL with shoulder inflammation. Man arrested for installing hidden camera in locker room. A Czech explosion, Russian agents, a Bulgarian arms dealer, the recipe for a major spy scandal in Central Europe. Top 15 UK-based movies to watch on Netflix. Men wanted by Czech police match Skripal suspects. U.S. to Israel, Iran attacks interfering with nuclear deal efforts. Curious about who is stalking you on Facebook? Here's how to find who all visited your profile. India's cyber agency flags WhatsApp risks, recommends updates. The following headlines are from Defense Blog. U.S. Air Force awards mysterious contract to Lockheed Martin for high-altitude platforms. Russian fighter jet again intercept U.S. Air Force RC-135 spy plane. Russia deploys A-50 airborne early warning aircraft on western border. Russia denies aggressive intentions that Ukraine fears. First rendering of buy systems OMFV emerges in social media. Hundreds of military helicopters scare Russians. XTEND delivers counter-drone interceptors to U.S. military. Japan's first RQ-4B drone completes maiden flight. Northrop Grumman secures $99 contract for advanced Hawkeye aircraft for France. This is the No Views, daily automated podcast news. Today, in the GMT time zone, is Sunday, April 18, 2021. Now, more headlines. The next headlines are from KRON4 San Francisco. Half of U.S. adults have received at least one COVID-19 shot. How to watch 18-day International Ocean Film Festival. How this artist makes candles of people's faces. After the COVID vaccine, will you need a booster shot? Tips to help break pandemic habits. 115th anniversary, remembering 1906 San Francisco earthquake. Invasive jumping worms spreading through several states. Woman says she wasn't allowed on AA flight because of see-through mask. A pillar and stalwart, oldest living American dies at 116. The next headlines are from the Daily Herald. Elma Wahlberg, mom to Donnie and Mark, dies at 78. Egypt says 11 killed in train crash north of Cairo. Yankees Jay Bruce, 34, retires just weeks into 14th season. Elgin mourns Chris Mao, fun-loving owner of Doctor Who-themed Blue Box Cafe. State eclipses 8 million mark for COVID-19 vaccination shots. The Queen says goodbye to Philip, continues her reign alone. flip, float, follow, how to survive when caught in a rip current. As cases rise, health authorities urge younger people to get vaccinated. The next alerts are from the Global Disaster Alerting and Coordination System, a cooperative effort from disaster managers worldwide. Green alert for tropical cyclones Yuragi 21, population affected by Category 1, 120 km per hour, wind speeds or higher is 0. Green earthquake alert, magnitude 5.8 m, depth 10 km, in Taiwan April 18, 2021, 14:14 UTC, 3,780,000 people within 100 kilometers. Green earthquake alert, magnitude 5.8 m, depth 10 km, in Islamic Republic of Iran April 18, 2021, 6:41 UTC, 1,260,000 people within 100 kilometers. Green earthquake alert, magnitude 5.6 m, depth 31.29 km, in Japan April 18, 2021, 0:29 UTC, 2,290,000 people within 100 kilometers. Drought is ongoing in Bolivia, Brazil. Drought is ongoing in Mozambique. Drought is ongoing in Mexico. Drought is ongoing in China, India, Nepal. Drought is ongoing in Madagascar. Drought is ongoing in Iraq, Jordan, Syria, Turkey. You are hearing the No Views, daily automated podcast news. Today is Sunday, April 18th in the Greenwich Mean Time zone. Headlines here were found today in news feeds from around the world, but we do focus on the USA, one of the world's current 195 countries. Now, more news. The next headlines are from ABC Houston. Austin police ID suspect in Austin shooting that left 3 dead. Pakistani American appointed as first Muslim police assistant chief in Houston. Wrong way crash injures 2 in Northeast Houston. Alma Wahlberg, mother of Mark, Donnie Wahlberg, dies at 78. 2 dead after fiery crash involving self-driving Tesla, authorities said. Researchers now have an estimate for just how many T-Rex once roamed Earth. Man shot to death during robbery outside W Houston apartment complex. Earth Day 2021, facts, history about first Earth Day. Tomball ISD teacher arrested for allegations of inappropriate behavior with student. Mild Sunday afternoon expected with partly sunny skies. The following headlines are from China Post, top news about China, Taiwan and the world. Justin Hernandez helped Galaxy Rally, beat Miami 3-2. Reinhardt scores twice in Sabres 4-2 win over Penguins. Shots fired at guardsman patrolling near right scene. Bieber sets K record, fans 13 as Indians beat Reds 6-3. Suspect apprehended in fatal shooting at Wisconsin tavern. Rays finish strong sweep, last place Yanks lose 5th straight. The following headlines are from The Gothamist. Extra, Fear Fest survivors win some money back. Coronavirus statistics, tracking the epidemic in New York. Seahorse spotted in the Hudson River, marking yet another hopeful sign of spring. Some unemployed New Yorkers will have to pay back money to the state after they were overpaid. Man accused of throwing Molotov cocktail, bleach at NYPD will face federal charges. An eerie landscape of ashes and ladybugs beckons in the East Village. Public defender explains how to get your marijuana record expunged. Coney Island's Mermaid Parade may return in the flesh this summer, organizers hope. Extra, vaccine clinics are where singles can go shoot their shot. New York COVID-19 vaccine rollout making steady progress, Cuomo says. We hope you are enjoying this podcast. If you have a suggestion for a new RSS feed we should add, please leave it in a comment on our YouTube page. The next headlines are from globalissues.org. Green transformation will rival industrial revolution, U.S. climate envoy. surviving a deadly outbreak of COVID-19 in a Lesotho convent. Colombia gives nearly 1 million Venezuelan migrants legal status and right to work. The next headlines are from blacklistednews.com. Scientists report creating the first embryo with human and non-human primate cells. The eruption of the refugee crisis and the global push for vaccine passports. Liz Cheney was the primary culprit of spreading fake news on Russian bounties to undermine Trump. Hundreds of activists sent Building 7 film to congressional reps. Russia shuts Ukraine's military access to Black Sea. Riots erupt across U.S. in wake of police shootings. Military bases housing migrant children plagued by serial sexual abuse claims. Biden isn't ending the Afghanistan war, he's privatizing it. Special forces, Pentagon contractors, intelligence operatives will remain. A school for spooks, the London University Department churning out NATO spies. Twitter promotes conservative doxing article based on hacked materials, violating own policy used to protect Hunter Biden. The following headlines are from Snopes, a fact-checking service. Did scientists create music from spider webs? Are 3 asteroids bigger than football fields to zoom past Earth? Sheriff, 3 dead, 2 wounded in shooting at Wisconsin tavern. Did World War II plane found in jungle still have coffee in thermoses? Does this image show an animal cell? Did NASA discover a new planet? Did the abandoned Bennett College become a mega mansion? Some January 6 defendants try to use journalism as riot defense. Half of U.S. adults now have received at least 1 COVID shot. The next headlines are from factcheck.org. Tucker Carlson misleads on COVID-19 vaccines, masks. We are now about 2/3 of the way through today's news headlines. When everything is working, this feed will auto-update 3 times per day. Join us daily to stay informed. The next headlines are from the Daily Beast. Even after brownies, my favorite bakeware remained unstained. Chris Wallace confronts GOP senator for questioning Biden's mental fitness. Is that helpful? Capitol rioter who pretended to be Antifa and ransacked Pelosi's office released from jail. Fauci, I doubt very seriously we'll cancel Johnson & Johnson vaccine. These are our favorite slippers to wear no matter what. Prince Harry may stay in UK a few days, after reuniting with Prince William. Publishers are using ebooks to extort schools and libraries. The non-violent sit-ins that desegregated Nashville's lunch counters. What it's like visiting Botswana right now. Derek Delgadio's magic is so great it makes you want to cry. The next headlines are from the New York Post. Drug runner's cat caught trying to sneak narcotics into Panama prison. Marcus Stroman deaths as Mets win nail-biter. Andrew Cuomo's energy legacy for New York, dark days ahead. Rangers stay in playoff race as Mika Zibanejad's late goal beats Devils. Subway crime still outpacing ridership despite drop in March. You're tuned to the No Views, daily automated podcast news. If you are hearing this, you found something super unknown. Congratulations. Now back to the headlines. The next science headlines are from CBS News. Half of U.S. adults have received at least 1 COVID vaccination. Vaccines drive optimism about containing COVID-19 pandemic, CBS News poll. Can vaccine hesitancy be reduced by a president's encouragement? COVID-19 death toll tops 3 million worldwide. New NASA study reveals direct evidence on climate change and human activity. Macron says France finalizing plans to ease restrictions for vaccinated American travelers. NASA readies its $80 million Mars helicopter for maiden flight. Journalist and author Elizabeth Colbert on the takeout, April 16, 2021. Brazil's COVID crisis reaches catastrophe as daily death toll is highest in world. Full interview, French President Emmanuel Macron on Face the Nation. The following headlines are from alienUFOsightings.com. What is Sherp the Ark? Check out this extreme ATV. No longer in shadows, Pentagon's UFO unit will make some findings public. The next headlines are from the New York Daily News. Hester Ford, oldest person in U.S., and possibly the world, dies age 115. Otters at Atlanta Aquarium test positive for COVID-19. Half of U.S. adults have received at least one coronavirus vaccine dose, CDC. NYC Controller contender David Whitburn floats pledge for candidates to not use the post as mayoral stepping stone. U.S. to welcome more refugees, top Biden officials say. 2 teenage suspects arrested in fatal Omaha mall shooting. 3 dead in Texas shooting, believed to be domestic situation, shooter still on the run. Daughter pleads for medical care for imprisoned Putin critic Alexei Navalny. 2 men killed after Tesla crashes in Texas. Ex-House Speaker John Boehner calls NBC's Chuck Todd a ST in TV interview. The following headlines are from military.com. Divers back in Gulf, search resumes for capsized boat's crew. Military officials, fighting rages in 2 Yemeni provinces. Black soldier mistreatment common even before Virginia case. AAVs given okay by Marines to go back into the water after deadly accident last summer. Hawaii Army trailblazer retires. Mass, lawmaker, soldiers' home needs funding. Lawmakers rush to introduce relief bills as military toxic exposures come to light. World War II and Korean War veteran gets escorted home in a 3-day funeral procession. Iran names suspect in Natanz attack, says he fled country. Air Force One subcontractor countersues Boeing over delays. The next headlines are from the Chicago Tribune. Suspect apprehended in Kenosha County bar shooting that killed 3, injured 3, police say. Chicago Teachers Union approves deal to reopen high schools Monday. Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot calls Twitter rumors homophobic, racist and misogynistic, indicates she is not resigning. Elma Wahlberg, mother of actors Mark and Bonnie Wahlberg, and a regular on the reality show Wahlburgers, dies at 78. Suburban pastor steps down over sex abuse allegations. Blue Island girl, 16, dies after being hit by car. Forecasters, chances for late-season snowfall, freezing temperatures increasing. COVID-19 in Illinois by the numbers, here's a daily update on cases, positivity rate and hospital data in your area. COVID-19 cases in Illinois by zip code, search for your neighborhood. Where the coronavirus data stands in the U.S. and world, vaccinations, cases and deaths. The following headlines are from phys.org. Hubble watches cosmic light bend. Parker Solar Probe sees Venus orbital dust ring in first complete view. NASA's Mars copter flight could happen as soon as Monday. U.S. West prepares for possible first water shortage declaration. Once again, volcanic Caribbean island looks to recovery. 2 Russian cosmonauts, NASA astronaut return from International Space Station. Thank you for listening and for staying informed. This audio was produced today, Sunday, April 18th, in the GMT time zone. The next headlines are from the Seattle Times. Stroman's 8 innings, backhand grab lift Mets over Rocks 2-1. Alex Palou scores first career IndyCar win in Ganassi debut. Rangers finish off 4-game sweep of New Jersey Devils. Stricker rallies to win Chubb Classic in his Florida home. Chicago high schools to reopen Monday after union approval. Tesla with no one driving crashes in Texas, killing 2 people. The following headlines are from mercurynews.com. Sunnyvale, man shoots self in foot during struggle with officers, police say. Man fatally shot in West Oakland, authorities report. Bay Area TV Sports, what to watch on Monday Tuesday. SF Giants pick up third shutout win in a week, Alex Wood leads the way before bullpen takes over. Tesla with no one driving crashes in Texas, killing 2. A's home game Monday postponed because of Twins' positive COVID-19 tests. A's dazzling defense keys winning streak, move toward top of the AL West. Why the Warriors' playoff hopes rest on Steph Curry's left ankle. 2 Pac-12 athletic directors in the mix for Premier AD post in the Big Ten. The next headlines are from the Washington Times. South Dakota health officials focus on vaccine hesitancy. Analysis, initiatives seek to bypass Mississippi lawmakers. Fake families swarm border, none prosecuted. Report, blacks, Hispanics underrepresented in black colleges. Man charged in alleged knife attack on 2 police officers. Wichita city leaders may limit gifts to city council. Israeli police clash with Palestinian crowd in Jerusalem. Russia expels Czech diplomats, says Prague took hostile step. Phoenix Mountain trial closed, beasting hiker, firefighter. Patrick Marleau set to break Gordie Howe's games record. The next headlines are from The Intercept. As Biden continues Trump's war on asylum, danger mounts in the deadly Sonoran Desert. Local cops said pipeline company had influence over government appointment. This is No Views, daily automated podcast news. You are hearing headlines for Sunday, April 18, 2021. Now more. The next headlines are from Eureka Alert. Heart patients advised to move more to avoid heart attacks and strokes. New amphibious centipede species discovered in Okinawa and Taiwan. The next headlines are from the Chicago Sun-Times. 14 shot, 2 fatally, since Friday night in Chicago. Are you ready for some football? Eleni spring game makes it a big Monday night on BTN. Coronavirus Live blog, April 18, 2021, more than 8 million COVID-19 vaccine shots have now gone into arms of Illinoisans. 2 brothers, including Phelan on house arrest, shot man 11 times in West Pullman slaying, prosecutors say. Man killed in Morgan Park shooting. Competitive high schools to see greatest numbers of students return Monday. No more GOP nonsense about gun rights. Man dies days after Austin shooting. White Sox righty Lance Lynn expected to miss one start on injured list. Woman fatally shot in Dalton. The next headlines are from Detroit Metro. Why Michigan's cannabis clean slate law doesn't go far enough. Being cancelled is its own reward. You are hearing today's news headlines. These headlines are for Sunday, April 18, 2021. Now more. The next headlines are about world records making news. Injured Hull KR star Ben Crooks more concerned about scan than world record, Yorkshire Post. Craft Irish Whiskey Company sets record for world's most expensive whiskey collection, the Whiskey Wash. Oni Tapia and world champions claim double gold in Chisalo, International Paralympic Committee. What you missed this week, world records, Olympic uniforms, and cycling fights, triathlete. An army soldier broke the world record for running a mile in a bomb suit, Yahoo Lifestyle. Eliud Kipchoge wins the NN Mission Marathon, The Standard. Florida Great Dane might be the world's tallest living dog, WJXT News 4 Jax. Paralympic swimming star Stephen Clegg sets a new world record, East Lothian Courier. A Grantham soldiers making a world record attempt on raising money in aid of veterans charities, Free Radio. Usbound Van Niekerk wins 200 and tittle, Mrs. Olympic mark, Anka. The next headlines are from Gizmodo. Crypto market plummets following week of Coinbase fueled hype. Adobe co-founder and inventor of PDFs Charles Geschke dies at age 81. U.S. federal investigators are reportedly looking into Kotakov security breach, undetected for months. Regulators urge Peloton Tread Plus owners to stop using treadmill immediately, and Peloton is pissed. Third dates the charm, maybe. NASA reschedules first Ingenuity flight on Mars for Monday. PlayStation 5 is now the fastest-selling console in U.S. history. Peloton resists federal safety recall for treadmill tied to child's death. Edward Snowden's NFT self-portrait sells for $5.4 million in charity auction. What place in the world had the hottest and coolest temperatures today? According to ElDoradoWeather.com, the hottest place on Earth in the past 24 hours was N'Djamena in Chad at 112.28 degrees Fahrenheit or 44.6 degrees Celsius. The coldest recorded weather temperature on Earth in the past 24 hours was Vostok in Antarctica at minus 87.7 degrees Fahrenheit or minus 66.5 degrees Celsius. The following headlines are from Ars Technica. The humble shrug that's predicting a terrible fire season. NASA says its Mars helicopter is ready for a historic first flight. Novel hydrogels can safely remove graffiti from vandalized street art. At 38.5% vaccinated, U.S. may be running low on people eager for a shot. DC's Rorschach, a detective walks into a world shaped by squids and superheroes. The following headlines are from Raw Story. CNN's Acosta and Camwabel skewers Fox News Tucker Carlson for putting black people in danger. Louisiana anti-vaccine pastor explains why he preaches COVID-19 is a lie. I'm not a politician, I'm a prophet. Texas Gopher trashed for appalling tweet as cops responded to multiple shooting deaths in Austin. Watch, Florida Ferris wheel operator gets a beating from crowd after he physically attacks black mom. Limited number of North Carolina Walgreens customers given saline injection instead of COVID vaccine, report. Active shooter in Austin with 3 reported dead, CNN. Spreading fear on purpose for ratings, Fox News host slams Tucker Carlson's anti-vaccine reporting. Big banks loaned money to an oil giant under the guise of sustainability. Capitol rioter who stole cops' body armor and pillaged Pelosi's office released before trial, report. Fear of Trump has Republicans dragging their feet on investigating the Capitol riot, report. The next headlines are from Mother Jones. Half of adults in the U.S. have now gotten at least one vaccine dose. Fauci says he expects J&J pod to end soon. During wave of mass shootings, Texas moves to eliminate handgun permits. Here's what a civilian climate corps might look like. Republicans, saying the quiet part loud, discuss plans for Anglo-Saxon Traditions Caucus. More than 3 million people have died from COVID-19 worldwide. Justice Department goes after Roger Stone, again, this time for $2 million in unpaid taxes. Leaked calls reveal Alex's secret plan to thwart Biden on climate. This commercial fishing technique is a climate catastrophe. The next items are today's top search results for extraterrestrial life. Scientists may detect signs of extraterrestrial life in 5 to 10 years, study, Hindustan Times. We are nearing the end of this broadcast. This report is for Sunday, April 18, 2021 in the GMT time zone. What cities are in that time zone? Well, Reykjavik, Iceland, for one. You might wonder if our server is in Reykjavik. It could be. The following is from the UFO Chronicles. UFO images are real, Pentagon confirms. That's it for now. Thanks for enjoying today's newsfeed headlines. This, indeed, has been a No Views, daily automated podcast newscast for Sunday, April 18, 2021. Bookmark us and tune in each day to our free automated podcast to find out what's going on, around, and, sometimes, light years, beyond the Earth. Fair use statement. News i8 is a US-based educational not-for-profit news site. We use only parts of content, in transformative ways and without market usurpation. This means you are still going to want to read the original if you are interested in it beyond the headline and any comments we make. We provide links to original sources wherever possible. If you have any copyright concern, please contact us via our About page for immediate remedy. Contact us, Zeno at XENOMAILS 2021 by News i8. All rights reserved.